Lily stood on the sandy beach, paintbrush in hand, capturing the vibrant hues of the sunset. The sky was ablaze with oranges, pinks, and purples, mirroring the fire in her heart as she worked. The ocean waves lapped gently at her feet, the salty breeze dancing through her long, wavy auburn hair. This was her sanctuary, a place where she felt truly alive. With every stroke of her brush, she poured her soul into the canvas, feeling the energy of the world around her. As she focused on her painting, she noticed a figure in the distance. A man with a camera slung around his neck was approaching, his gaze fixed on the beauty of the beach. It was Jake Thompson, a familiar face from her childhood, who had returned to their small coastal town after years away. Lily's heart raced at the sight of him. She hadn't seen him since high school. "Lily?" Jake called, a broad smile spreading across his face. "Is that you?" She put down her paintbrush, her heart fluttering. "Jake, it's been so long." They embraced, a warm rush of familiarity enveloping them. As they pulled away, Lily couldn't help but notice how much he had changed. His green eyes sparkled with confidence and adventure. "Are you still painting?" he asked, glancing at her easel. "Always. It's my way of capturing the world," Lily replied, her cheeks warming under his gaze. "What about you? Still chasing sunsets with that camera of yours?" "Absolutely," Jake said, holding up his camera with pride. "I've traveled all over the world, but I think I've missed this place more than I realized." They spent the evening reminiscing about their childhood adventures, laughing over shared memories of school and beach bonfires. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in deep blues and purples, they felt a magnetic pull toward each other, something unspoken yet palpable. Over the next few weeks, their connection blossomed. Jake joined Lily on her painting excursions, capturing the beauty of the landscape. Through his lens while she painted, they wandered through tide pools, chased seagulls, and explored hidden coves, their laughter echoing through the air. One afternoon, while they sat on a rocky outcrop overlooking the ocean, Lily felt a shift in the atmosphere. The sun was shining brightly, but the waves seemed to echo the fluttering of her heart. She looked at Jake, his face illuminated by the sunlight, and felt an overwhelming urge to lean in closer. "Jake," she began, her voice barely above a whisper, "I feel like we've known each other forever, even though it's only been a few weeks." He turned to her, his expression serious yet soft. "I feel it too, Lily. There's something about you, about this place. It feels like home." As the wind rustled through their hair, Jake reached for her hand, intertwining their fingers. The warmth of his touch sent shivers down her spine, igniting a spark within her. With the waves crashing below and the sun setting in the distance, they shared their first kiss, gentle yet electric, filled with the promise of something deeper. Summer days turned into balmy nights, and Lily and Jake spent every moment they could together. They found themselves drawn into each other's worlds, Lily painting while Jake took photos, capturing the essence of their adventures. Their bond deepened with each passing day, their hearts entwined like the vines of the coastal cliffs that surrounded them. But as the summer drew to a close, reality began to creep in. Jake revealed he had plans to travel again, seeking new horizons and inspirations for his photography. The thought of losing him sent a chill through Lily's heart. "What if things change?" she asked, her voice trembling. As they sat together on the beach, the waves whispering secrets around them, Jake turned to her, his eyes filled with sincerity. "Change is inevitable, but it doesn't mean we have to lose what we've found. I want you in my life, Lily, no matter where I go. We can make this work, even from afar." Tears brimmed in her eyes as she nodded, though uncertainty lingered in her heart. They promised to stay connected, exchanging letters and scheduling visits, determined to nurture their love despite the distance. As autumn arrived, the vibrant colors of summer faded into earthy tones. Lily stood on the same beach where their story began, gazing out at the churning sea. The wind whipped around her, carrying the scent of salt and the whispers of their memories. She clutched a letter from Jake in her hands, his words a lifeline that bridged the distance between them. Weeks turned into months, and winter settled over the town like a soft blanket. Lily continued to paint, her heart both heavy and hopeful. She poured her emotions into her artwork, each stroke reflecting her longing for Jake and the connection they shared. They talked on the phone, shared photos, and promised to meet whenever possible. But it wasn't the same as being together. One snowy evening, as she sat in her studio surrounded by her paintings, the doorbell rang. Startled, Lily jumped up and opened the door, her breath catching in her throat. There stood Jake, a travel bag slung over his shoulder, snowflakes clinging to his hair and jacket. "Jake!" she exclaimed, her heart soaring as she rushed into his arms. "You're here. I couldn't stay away," he said, his voice warm and reassuring. "I missed you too much." Lily felt tears of joy streaming down her cheeks as she pulled back to look at him. "But how? I thought you were on a trip." "I was, but I realized my heart belongs here with you," he said, his eyes locking onto hers. "I want to build a life together, wherever that may lead us." In that moment, the weight of their separation melted away. They kissed, the warmth of their embrace igniting the passion they had nurtured through letters and phone calls. The winter air was cold, but inside Lily's heart there was a flame that would never be extinguished. That night, they spent hours talking and sharing their dreams, planning a future that included art, photography, and adventure. The world outside was blanketed in snow, but inside their hearts were full, filled with love and the promise of new beginnings. As the sun rose the next morning, casting a golden light over the snowy landscape, Lily and Jake stood on the porch, hand in hand. Together, they watched the world awaken, knowing that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together. The whispers of the wind spoke of love, hope, and endless possibilities, guiding them into a future they would build side by side.